All right, quilt people, we are back. This is the final video of our beginner series, which I'm very excited about. So, quilt people, get ready. But first, I want to test out this thing. My husband got me this, filter light. It's supposed to make me more beautiful on camera. All right, let's see how it works. All right, I'm just going to check some of these settings here, see how this works. All right, ready? First one, here we go. Oh, my Lord.
Sack music.
Ooh, maybe not like this. Like this? Oh, I can see how this is helping.
Shutterstock music.
But really, quilt people, everybody pay attention. We have to get through this series because I have a lot of other things I need to get to. So let's wrap it up. All right. So the first thing is coffee. Hard to drink when you're laughing. All right. What are we doing? Yes. This. Okay. So finally, I'm starting to produce and publish the patterns that I created for my new leaf line. Okay. So shops. Hello. Shops. This new line of mine is now available to order through Wyndham Fabrics. I hope that you love it. I've shown a bunch of the fabrics already. So now I'm starting to produce the actual patterns that I essentially created to kind of show off the line. This is the first one that I created. It's called Prairie Pastures, okay? There's 3 main patterns that I created using this fabric line, and so we're gonna go through and look at those. But this is the first one. We're not going to look at it all today, but we are going to be looking at them over time. Okay, so Prairie Pastures has now been published on my website. Just go to quiltingcowboy.com, hit on that shop tab, and it is right there. Okay, so you can download that, print it off at home, and you can get started with this. I will say that this is paper pieced. Okay, it's also an intermediate pattern. You have to know how to do Y seams in order to create this. So basic understanding of paper piecing and Y seams are a must in order to create this project. All right, so that's the first thing that we're covering today. The second is our project. Let's take a look. So now that we have essentially gone through all the steps to create this quilt top, I'm not actually going to take you through the rest of the steps. Sorry. Because I've already done the videos for them. And so if you go back and reference some of my older videos, I think that you will find everything you need to know in order to finish this off, including quilting the project, is right here. So the videos I'm going to direct you to in order to finish this project are thus. All right, to add the borders, including the stop border, you want to go to a video called Better Borders, okay? So you have the pieced work done, you want to add the borders, that's the next step. Go to that video, which was posted in January of 2019, okay? Then once you have all the borders on, you need to put the layers together, right? Because you have the quilt top, you have the batting, and then you have the fabric on the back, right? So in order to put those layers together, you want to go to the video that was posted March 22nd of 2019. It's called Putting the Layers Together. Imagine that. There's actually 2 videos that I posted that are called Putting the Layers Together, depending on what technique that you want to use. All right, so there's 2 ways to do this. The first is to actually use a wall to put the layers together and some spray glue, and the other one is to use a fence. Now ask your spouse or significant other what is in fact going to be the best for you, whether you need to be doing this outside on a fence or if you're okay to like tack it up against a wall and use some spray glue, all right? So it's actually spray adhesive, but anyhow, so find out which method you want to use and putting the layers together. If you're using the wall technique, visit, like I said, March 22nd of 2019 when that was posted, but then the fence version was September of 2013 when I posted that. Ugh, oh my God. It seems like a lifetime ago. Anyhow, then taking it off the wall, or essentially preparing the next step, there's a video called Off the Wall. Makes sense. So that's taking it from the wall down to the table, preparing it to be quilted. Okay, so you're going to want to look at Off the Wall, which was posted in December of 2020, and then you also may want to review, there's some Machine Quilting 101 video. Okay, so that's what you're going to do if you're going to try and quilt this yourself. You might not want to do that. Okay, you're just learning piecing. Okay, quilting beyond piecing is its own technique, and it takes just as much time and dedication in order to get good on that as you are with the piecing. Two separate techniques, both are very challenging. Okay, both have their own challenges. So when I was new, I just focused on piecing. Okay, and I got the whole top together, and then I'd send it out to be quilted because I wasn't quite there yet. Some of the long armors that you'll send it out to be quilted with will do the binding, and some will not. I suggest you learn how to do the binding on a small project. Just make a little, tablecloth, a placemat, and then just try doing the binding on that. There is two videos on my channel on binding. All right, so pay attention to those. The last one was posted January of 2020. It was when I did my last binding tutorial. All right, so check that out. The binding is the part that goes all the way around the edge that kind of hides the fact that it's three different layers, right? Again, the quilt top, the batting, and the back. All right. So that's the part that binds all of the perimeter around and gives it that nice finish. That's the binding. You need to learn that. It's its kind of own technique. It's a little bit tricky at the beginning, but once you get it down, it's, like anything, pretty easy. Okay, so you may want to review those, and then if you have time as a beginner, review the Back to Basics video, which was posted in September of 2019. Okay, so you're going to want to review all of those videos if you want to keep going with this project. All right, if you're just kind of done with it, you don't even want to do the borders, you've done all the piecing, great. Send it out to somebody who's going to machine long arm it for you. But if you do want to take on that project and you do want to look at the videos of how to put it up on the wall, how to take it down off the wall, for the machine quilting, essentially what you're going to want to do is essentially just do cross X's, right? So if you look at two of those, kind of rectangles next to each other, they make a square, right? And so then just do an X on the square that contains two rectangles, okay? And so then just put a little X through that and then move on to the next one, right? So you can do nice long runs, creating that nice kind of crosshatch look to it, okay? So that's gonna be your next step on that. But I have something fun to show you that hopefully will be inspiring, that once you know this, maybe do this project 2 or 3 times. You're still learning. Every time you do it, you're going to learn something new. Still to this day, every time I do a new project, I learn something new on every single one. And that's what I love about this process. You're always learning. Okay, so we've kind of managed to get this one done, but let's look at what I actually created with it, which I'm really hoping is going to inspire you and show you what you can do with just a little tweak. Ready for the new one? Check it out. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And it just uses the exact same pattern that you just did, right? So by adding just a little tweak of the pattern, by essentially, what I did essentially is create 2 of the small projects and then turned it, right? So that the rectangles were going this way instead of the other way. And I think it turned out super cool. I love, love, love the color palette. And again, I often talk about creating a more monochromatic, color scheme in your quilts. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. It's clearly a green quilt, right? Green and gold. And I love it. Now, if you were to throw in all the colors of the rainbow, that's fine. That's fine too. It's just a completely different feel. And so when you kind of focus it down on 1 or 2 colors, it creates a more sophisticated color story and quilt, in my opinion. Okay, so that's what we have going on today. You can make this. Okay, you already know the technique, and look, we just, again, a little tiny twist, and you get a completely different quilt feel. All right, and so try it, add 2 of the quilts together, whatever you want to do. Just keep putting those rectangles together, and this is it, right? And I love it. This is one of my favorite quilts I've actually ever made in 20 years of quilting, and it's so simple, right? I love it, love it, love it. Anyhow, so that ends our beginner quilting series, okay? I hope that you learned a lot. What we're gonna do next, and what I want you to do, is to actually go through this process and tell me what you learned and tell me where you're stuck. Okay? Those are the two things I want you to email me about. Go to quiltingcowboy@gmail.com. Okay? Quiltingcowboy@gmail.com and write to me so that we can kind of do a follow-up to this whole series, because if you're getting stuck, probably somebody else is getting stuck as well. Okay, so we're going to address all of those issues. Anything where I like left something out or was unclear, let me know. Also, let me know your successes. Yes, like let me know, like, were you rocking it? You know, and what was working, and send me photos of your projects. I always love seeing it, especially when it's kind of like one of my designs and you take it and make it your own. I just think that's super, super cool, and I always appreciate that. So that's it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. That would really help me out. And other than that, I will see you next time, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.